The game never stops, and neither do we. Welcome to the SDH Network. We're always around the corner from everywhere. Morning Espresso, it's brought to you by Oglethorpe University, Atlanta's premier undergraduate learning experience and soccer powerhouse. I'm Jason Longshore. It's Monday. It's February 16th. MLS Matchweek is here. Atlanta United Year 10 is here, and we have a lot to get into. Let's get it started. For the first time in 2026, it is officially MLS Matchweek. Atlanta United opens its 10th season on Saturday in Cincinnati. We'll be there to call it live on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app. That's just crazy to even think about year 10 of doing this. Pre-game coverage begins at 3:30 p.m. with Abe Gordon and Madison Cruz from the studios at Colony Square. And then Mike Conti and I will have the match call as this next chapter begins. And look, this week's about more than just one opening match. It's about a milestone year for the club, a milestone year for the game. We're 10 seasons in, starting that on Saturday. It's a decade of history, a decade of moments, a decade of growth, and now another season where Atlanta United is trying to push forward again. We'll be getting you ready all week for it across the SDH Network and on 92.9 The Game. We'll have more Atlanta United at 10 features. We'll have a special Atlanta Soccer Tonight tomorrow night, Tuesday, from 8 to 10 p.m. John Nelson, Madison Cruz, Abe Gordon, all joining into the conversation on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app. We'll also have Mike Conti joining in. We will have a special interview with Chris Henderson. It's going to be a very busy Tuesday because Atlanta United training will be in the morning, so we'll have coverage as players speak after training, more players and Tata Martino speaking on Thursday. The Training Ground Dispatch will be back on Thursday, getting you ready for each and every match. And look, as always, our mission here, whether we're talking on SDH, whether we're talking on 92.9 The Game, you know we all overlap at this point. Our mission's simple: provide context. We're not just going to tell you what happened, and we're not going to tell you what we think you want to hear. We're going to tell you why what happened matters. We're going to not just talk about the result, but we're going to talk about the decisions underneath it. We're not just going to talk headlines and try to get clicks. We're going to talk about the bigger picture, especially of what Atlanta United's trying to build in year 10. It's Atlanta United coverage with memory and with perspective, and that's what we're going to bring all season long. Smart coverage, real access, and all that connective tissue between what you see on the field and the direction of the club, and honestly, maybe more importantly, the direction of the game across the board. Season 10 starts now. We'll be with you every step of the way. All right, let's hop into another story. Referee chaos. It's not an argument against VAR. We had another weekend in Europe with another round of officiating controversy. And once again, you've got a lot of people that are having loud takeaways saying the same old argument. Scrap VAR, bin VAR, go back to the old days, accept mistakes. Yeah, right. Like, that would be accepted. I mean, come on. Let's not fool ourselves here. The idea of scrapping VAR is outdated thinking. The point of replay technology is really simple. We want to get more calls correct. Criticize wrong decisions? Absolutely. Criticize poor protocols and consistent application of them? Yes. Arguing that VAR should be eliminated entirely? Frankly, it's damaging to the game, and it's just a foolish thing to say, again, to get some clicks and get some attention. It's not real life. User error is not system error. If referees are inconsistent, it's proof that the system needs better training, clearer standards, stronger execution. If the protocols aren't being followed properly, again, better training, clearer standards, stronger execution. Look, and here's the other thing that you got to remember when you're going down this argument path. You got to remember how difficult things are for referees as well. In Serie A, referee chief Gianluca Rocchi, he criticized players who, quote, try everything they can to cheat, talking about how they try to con officials. There was a controversial Juventus sending off against Inter. He also blamed coaches for making the environment harder rather than helping improve it, and those are absolutely correct. We talk about simulation all the time, and I don't feel that the criticisms of simulation are anywhere near where they need to be. I don't think the punishments for simulation are anywhere near where they need to be. You have the ability to look back at these things. You have retroactive punishments. You need to start giving yellow cards for simulation retroactively. Yeah, they'll accumulate, and then players will start to think twice about it. Give the referees a little more weaponry here. Don't be arguing to get rid of video assistant referees and take tools away from the referees to get calls right when players are going to try to fool them, when coaches are going to lie to them, when these things are going to happen. Don't make it harder for referees. Make it easier and better for referees. Also, look, we're going to have to start talking about second yellow cards and should those be looked at. It's already a discussion. You had the situation where Pierre Kalulu was shown a second yellow for what appeared to be a shirt pull on Alessandro Bastoni. Replay suggested there was no contact, but VAR couldn't intervene here because second yellow cards fall outside its remit. That's not an argument against review technology. That's not a bin VAR kind of thing. This is an argument for tightening the framework here. The aftermath got uglier, and then you have the nonsense on social media with Bastoni and his family reportedly having to block social media comments after abuse tied to accusations of simulation, which, yes, but still, can we stop with the social media nonsense? All of this goes to say, referees are operating in a game that is faster, it's under more scrutiny, and there's more pressure than ever before. Honestly, this is where MLS perspective is instructive, and I know there's people around the world rolling their eyes right now. But American sports, we've used replay for decades. We're used to it. When things go wrong, when calls go wrong, when you have replay get involved or not get involved when it should, the conversation is extremely rarely about abolishing replay. It's about getting the process right. The tool is not the enemy here. The execution is the challenge. Get the system right, train the officials properly, especially the replay officials, and apply the standards consistently. The answer to making it better is not to go backwards. That's foolish. And I hate that it always gets clicks every single time you have an issue. And I hate that people go down that road looking for those clicks. We know better. It's not going to make the game better to get rid of video assistant referees. Make the process better, train them better, and then it will be better. We're getting more calls right than ever before. Those are facts. You can like it or not like it, but that's a fact. Make it even better from here. Don't go backwards. That's foolishness. All right, let's hop into a much more fun topic. Let's go to Macclesfield. Could we? Are we all rooting for Macclesfield tonight? Sorry, Brentford fans, but I know there's quite a few in Atlanta. But how can we not root for Macclesfield tonight? They host Brentford, a chance to extend the FA Cup's best story of the round. They knocked out the holders, Crystal Palace. The Silkmen are back at Moss Rose with the spotlight fixed firmly on a sixth-tier club that has already delivered the competition's defining shock. That Palace win was earned. Paul Dawson's header put them in front. Isaac Buckley-Ricketts doubled the lead. A late Palace response couldn't stop one of the great modern giant killings. Now the harder question, can that magic stretch one more night? What makes it even better is the setting. Moss Rose, it's not built for these kinds of games. It's built for community. It's going to be a sold-out crowd. It's a town that rarely shouts about itself, but it's a club that suddenly carries the attention of the world. And then you zoom out, and we talked about this. We've had the owner on the SDH Network discussing it. You can go back and read the feature. You can listen to the podcast. Macclesfield Town collapsed in 2020. The reborn Macclesfield FC is rebuilding a civic institution, restoring pride, restoring a football home. That's why nights like this matter. The FA Cup belongs to places like Macclesfield. Would love to see more Cup magic tonight. Sorry, Brentford, again. You're the baddies today. You're just going to have to deal with it. Let's go to the domestic side of things with MLS getting started this weekend. We've got a few notes heading into Matchweek 1. FC Dallas, they have acquired midfielder Joaquin Valiente from Defensor Sporting in Uruguay. It's a long-term deal through 2027, multiple options beyond that. He spent last season on loan at Barcelona SC in Ecuador, put up 5 goals and 6 assists. Dallas add another creative connector in midfield. Minnesota, they have signed veteran defender Kyle Duncan in free agency. 8 seasons with the Red Bulls, 166 appearances, supporter shield experience. The Loons see him as a reliable backline piece who raises the competition immediately. And then one of the bigger moves of the week, Nashville SC, reportedly, it's not officially announced yet. Nashville have acquired Reed Baker Whiting from Seattle in a cash-for-player trade reported at $800,000 plus add-ons. Our own Nico Moreno of Pulso Sports, he had this first. Seattle retains a sell-on clause. For the Sounders, they get some roster flexibility, cap space. Baker Whiting wasn't going to get an option to play regularly. He could get that in Nashville at left back. All right, let's bounce around the world at the moment in the refill. Tottenham, they have appointed Igor Tudor as interim head coach through the end of the season. He takes over after Thomas Frank's dismissal. Other things from the world global headlines, Nottingham Forest, they have appointed Vitor Pereira on an 18-month deal through the end of the 2026-2027 season. Forest dismissed Sean Dyche after less than 4 months. Pereira returns to the Premier League after his stint with Wolves. Wrexham, they are into the FA Cup 5th round for the first time in nearly 30 years. Josh Windess's goal edged Ipswich. Now they wait for the draw later today, hoping for a glamour kind of matchup. Harry Kane, he reached 500 career goals with a brace in Bayern's 3-0 win at Werder Bremen. The first Englishman to hit the milestone. His scoring pace in Germany remains ridiculous. RB Leipzig, they have slipped in the Champions League race in the Bundesliga, 2-2 draw against Wolfsburg. They salvaged it late, but they have dropped to 5th in the table. In France, Lens, they have emerged as PSG's true challenger. They are 1 point ahead at the top after a crushing 5-0 win. Marseille continuing to stumble. Lyon, though, watch out for them. They're 3rd place. 2-0 win over Nice. They have extended their winning streak to 13 in the league. PSG lost over the weekend, so Ligue 1 could be very, very interesting as we go. In Spain, Rayo Vallecano, they beat understrength Atleti. Atleti dominated Barcelona in the Copa del Rey on Thursday, and then they get beat by Vallecano 3-0. Dominated, the match storylines were dominated by protests against the Rayo Vallecano ownership, infrastructure issues. They had to play this one at a different stadium. All kinds of issues with Rayo, but they get this big win. The CAF, they are considering expanding AFCON to 28 teams while also reaffirming the tournament will move to a 4-year cycle after the next edition. Neymar, he returned to the field for Santos last night, played his first minute since knee surgery as he builds towards World Cup hopes. In Argentina, Rosario Central, they beat Barraca Central 2-0. Enzo Copetti scored first. Angel Di Maria sealed it late with a chipped finish. He is still killing it right now. In Colombia, Deportivo Cali, they stunned Atlético Nacional 1-0, handing Nacional their first defeat of the Apertura. In Paraguay, Nacional delivered a statement 2-0 win over Cerro Porteño, snapping Cerro Porteño's momentum before the big Super Clásico in Paraguay. You also had the Clásico Nacional in Mexico and Chivas with a huge win, 1-0. Armando Gonzalez scored the decisive goal in that one. Chivas held on against some late pressure from Las Águilas to get the 3 points, stay unbeaten at the top of the table. Cruz Azul, they defeated Tigres 2-1 in a dramatic match on match day 6 in Mexico. Nicolas Ibanez scored against his former club to help La Máquina into the 2nd place in the Clausura standings. Great matches in Mexico, great matches at the Creek Cup this weekend. We had a blast calling all of them at Johns Creek and at Northview High Schools. John Nelson, Drew Dickinson, Madison Cruz, me. We called 16 matches from Thursday through Saturday night. Teams traveled in from all over Georgia to help kick off the high school season in style. Our partnership with this event, we take it really seriously. It's one of the best early season showcases in the state. We love being able to help promote it while also shining a spotlight on players and programs who are making an impact right out of the gate. Big time congrats to this year's champions, Johns Creek on the girls' side, Islands from Savannah, Carrollton, and Johns Creek on the boys' side. There are some openings for next year's brackets, but spots are filling quickly. If your school is interested, reach out to Johns Creek boys head coach Kelly Bowler, and we're looking forward to doing this all over again. SDH AM live this morning at 9:05. We turn the page into MLS Matchweek. Busy week ahead for Atlanta United and the 29 other teams in MLS. Abe Gordon of 92.9 The Game joins us, along with Bart Keeler from the Soccer for US podcast, the usual Monday crew. They're going to break down the weekend stories from all over the world. And we'll be getting you ready for everything Atlanta United, everything MLS for the 2026 season. Atlanta United's 10th season on the field. We'll be with you all the way through it. Training ground access, match day coverage, big picture, small details. It's what we do here on the SDH Network. Thank you for starting your Monday with me on the Morning Espresso. Have a good rest of the day. Soccer over there this evening on the network, and plenty more to come throughout the week. Y'all have a good one. We'll be talking to you again shortly.